Good morning and welcome to the weekend. Today is Friday, April 18th. Well, basically almost the weekend. You still have the workday to get through, but thanks for listening to Wake Up with KERA News. I'm Andrew Garcia. Hopefully we make the time go by a little bit faster. Cloudy skies are here at last. There's a major chance we'll see rain and thunderstorms off and on throughout the weekend. It will stay warm though, with average temperatures in the 70s and 80s. The Dallas Wings had the first pick in the draft this week. We'll hear more about what the team is looking forward to, but first, the news. The Texas House gave initial approval to the bill supporting a $1 billion private school voucher program. The bill still needs final approval from the Senate, but this is the first time vouchers for private school education have been approved since 1957. The chamber also gave preliminary approval to its $7.7 billion school funding package. Denton City Council is putting new restrictions and guidelines in place at the city's homeless shelter. They say new restrictions are in response to the limited number of resources and caseworkers available, and they're also responding to other cities and organizations transporting people to the shelter without financial support. The WNBA season doesn't kick off until May, but this week's draft had Dallas fans raring to go. With the number one pick in the draft, the Dallas Wings landed the University of Connecticut star point guard Paige Bueckers. The Texas Standard's Laura Rice talked to Dallas Morning News reporter Maya Taylor about what's to come as the UConn standout heads to North Texas.
How excited is the city that Paige Bueckers is coming to Dallas?
Oh, I think they're absolutely thrilled. I was over in New York where the draft was happening, but I know in Arlington they had a huge watch party and it was sold out. Everybody was going crazy. I think especially with Luka Doncic having left the Mavs, it kind of feels like Paige Bueckers arriving is, helping have the city have a basketball star again. So everyone's very excited.
Well, the franchise, of course, got the number one pick this year because they've been struggling. Here's Paige talking to reporters on Monday after the draft.
There's new levels of standards that are going to be set in play, and there's a new GM, there's a new coach, new assistant coach, a whole new team. So we're excited for that new fresh start. It's not a rebuild, it's just a build from where we are. We're excited for the future, and we only think the best is ahead.
All right, Maya, tell us about this fresh start. What does that look like from your perspective?
Yeah, so even before the Wings won the draft lottery in November, they had already kind of been pretty adamant about just taking the franchise to new heights. And that kind of started with the announcement last April that they'd be moving to downtown Dallas. Currently, they play at UT Arlington's arena. But they'll be moving downtown into a renovated arena. So that was a huge milestone for them. They cleaned house in terms of their front office. They got a new head coach, new general manager, and then they went out in free agency and they have really built a roster that will surround Paige. So she won't really have to carry the team or anything like that. And then, of course, she wasn't their only draft pick, and so they'll have other options there. But from my understanding, even before they secured this pick, they were really trying to just take the Wings into the future.
Well, of course, we have to ask, or I guess compare this year's draft excitement to last year. In 2024, the Indiana Fever drafted Caitlin Clark from Iowa as the number one pick. And since then, the Fever have gained much larger crowds at home and away. Do you get a sense that Dallas could experience the same thing?
Oh, I definitely think so. There's been a lot of comparisons between Caitlin Clark and Paige Bueckers. And, I think the folks at the Wings understand that it's not quite the same phenomenon that was. But she will definitely, as the CEO and president said, Greg Bibb said, she will move the needle. So 100%, I think that people are going to be paying a lot more attention to the Wings now. Paige Bueckers has, I think, 2.3 million Instagram followers, and that was before she even got to Dallas. That's more than Dak Prescott, Cowboys quarterback, has.
Oh, wow.
So she definitely has a big audience. A lot of people are really excited about her. So I think we're going to be hearing a lot more about the Wings.
So as the new Wings beat reporter, what else makes you excited about this team going into the 2025 season?
Honestly, I'm just really excited to see them getting more attention,
Mm-hmm.
just seeing a organization grow the way that it is, and not just in like securing a player like Paige, but seeing them kind of grow on the business side and all the things that they're doing to try to get their product out there. And so I'm excited to see how that looks for them.
That was the Texas Standard's Laura Rice speaking with Dallas Morning News reporter Maya Taylor. The Mavericks take on the Memphis Grizzlies tonight, set to battle for the last spot in the playoffs. In a win-or-go-home fight that should not be missed, tip-off is at 8:30. And Dallas Trinity plays Fort Lauderdale United FC tomorrow at Cotton Bowl Stadium. Anime fans, hot glue the final touches onto your cosplay because WeebCon has landed at the Irving Convention Center this weekend. Enjoy cosplay contests, gaming tournaments, music, and more to celebrate your favorite fandoms. Find more information and other fun things to do at kera.org/calendar. Thanks so much for listening to Wake Up with KERA News. I'm your host, Andrew Garcia. The show is produced and edited by Shardae White and Bekah Morr. For more news in your inbox, visit kera.org/wakeup. That's where you can subscribe to the Wake Up with KERA News newsletter. Get some good morning vibes from our colleague, Catherine Hobbs. Connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at KERATX. Stay dry this weekend, and we'll see you on Monday.